Leading off, number 32, Hayden Hall. Batting second, number 3, Jerome Donry. Then it's number 23, Jose Garcia. Batting fourth, number 13, Cesar Garcia. Batting fifth, number 15, Ulysses Paul. In the sixth spot, it's number 10, Johnny DeGrum. Then number 11, the DH, Bo Sweeney. Batting eighth, number 5, Abe Mata. In the ninth spot, wearing number 8, it's the right fielder, Thomas Zepeda. And the starting pitcher tonight for the Santa Maria Indians, Julian Diaz-Resendez. Now here's the starting lineup for your San Luis Obispo Blues. Leading off, it's Diego Murillo, playing second base, wearing number 7. He's followed by Jake Hicksonbaugh, wearing number 5, playing third base. Then it's Logan Hart, center fielder, wearing number 40. Batting in the fourth spot tonight, Zach Tollerman, wearing number 22, the DH. Batting fifth for the Blues tonight, wearing number 25, it's the right fielder, Jose Suzuki. He's followed by number 26, the left fielder, Andrew Raymond. Then it's Brody Miller, wearing number 37, the catcher. Batting in the 8th spot, the shortstop, wearing number 14, Brady Alves. And batting 9th for the Blues tonight, playing first base, wearing number 23, it's Sebastian Lopez. Starting pitcher for this evening's game, number 11, the left-hander, Robbie Larker.
Game 4 of 5 in a homestand at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues have a non-conference matchup from their neighbors down the road in Santa Maria, California. It's the historied Santa Maria Indians against the San Luis Obispo Blues on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Let's get the weekend started on the right foot. Here's the starting lineup for the Santa Maria Indians. Hayden Hall plays third base and leads off. Jerome Damry is the shortstop, batting second, with Josue Garcia, the catcher, batting third. Cesar Garcia, no relation, the first baseman, cleans it up. Yuli Call, the center fielder, will bat fifth for the Indians, with Johnny DeBrum playing in left field and batting sixth. Bo Sweeney is the DH batting seventh, with Abel Mata, the second baseman, batting eighth. And rounding it out in the ninth spot for Santa Maria, it's the right fielder, Thomas Zepeda. Here's the defensive alignment for your San Luis Obispo Blues. Brody Miller throwing down the signs behind home plate. Sebastian Lopez plays first base, with Diego Murillo playing second. Jake Hicksonbaugh plays the hot corner, with Brady Alves at short. The outfield left to right is Andrew Raymond, Logan Hart, and Kosei Suzuki, with Zach Tolman DHing for the Blues. And on the mound for San Luis Obispo, the local kid, the lefty from Templeton, California, and a Cuesta College Cougar, Robbie Lardner, playing in his first competitive baseball game in about 2 years following Tommy John surgery. And what a great story here for Robbie as he looks to start off his career after Tommy John on the right foot.
Yeah, it's really good to see Robbie back out there. He's stuck around the team these last 2 seasons and really got to know him last year. He's a really good guy, and I'm really excited for him to get back out there. He's a guy who threw 90 before TJ. I'm sure he's not going to be 100% today, but we'll see where he will be at.
First pitch to Hayden Hall is taken high at 6:05 p.m. 1-0 count to the third baseman leading off today for the Indians. Game time temperature 70 degrees and sunny. 1-0. Poke the opposite way to the second baseman Murillo, who shuffles and flings it over to first in time for the first out of the first inning.
It's a good way to get it going for Robbie.
Lardner just slowly trying to ramp it up. He had been going 100% in bullpens leading up to this start. Just wanted to be extra cautious to make sure that arm comes back at 100%. He spent the last 2 seasons of college baseball at Cuesta, but of course did not play last season due to Tommy John. So 1 more year of eligibility. First pitch, and the lefty grounds it to the third baseman Hicksonbaugh, who picks it up and throws it over to Lopez for the second out of the inning. That was Jerem Damry grounding out to Hicksonbaugh. Jerem and Jake used to be teammates in high school at Atascadero High. They were both Greyhounds, and now they're on other sides of the diamond here at Sinsheimer Stadium. Here's Josue now, former Blue. Briefly played with San Luis Obispo last summer in non-conference play. And with 2 outs, the catcher batting third stands in. Lardner delivers, and it's a fastball yanked outside. Miller keeps it in front, 1-0. And with Robbie, you're going to get the fastball and the sweeper. You're going to get aggressive pitches too, although I'm curious to see how he sequences these batters post-Tommy John surgery, if that aggression is still there from Lardner. The 1-0, fastball, check swing to Garcia, and it's a foul tip into the mid of Miller, and that's strike 1. 2 outs, 2 quick ones in the top of the first. Just got going. Blues versus Indians. Slider misses low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Josue. Lardner, a couple of years ago for the Blues, one of the more reliable starters for San Luis Obispo. It's a heavy fastball with a lot of spin on it. The 2-1. Here's a fastball inside. Brody Miller tried to bring it back into the zone, but doesn't get the call. 3 balls and 1 strike to Josue. Garcia, a Bulldog at Allen Hancock College, 3-1. And he'll take strike 2, filling it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. He was a freak in high school. A 3-time All-Area selection. He was an All-League selection and a Central Coast All-Area MVP.
Carried over to his time as a Bulldog as well.
Payoff is hit off the hands and it bleeds foul. We'll do it again at 3-2. You're sure right. A .411 batting average this first season at Allen Hancock College. Got on base 50% of the time and slugged .528. Walked more than he struck out, too. 12 extra base hits and his 67 total hits as a Bulldog. Lardner from the stretch. Popped up on the left side and shallow left. Raymond calls everyone off and makes the grab with 2 hands, and the side is retired. First inning back for Robbie Lardner, looking good. 3 up, 3 down as we head to the bottom half of the frame on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bottom of the first inning at Sinsheimer Stadium, a non-conference game between the Santa Maria Indians and the San Luis Obispo Blues. Leading it off for SLO, it's Diego Murillo, the second baseman. Jake Hicksonbaugh and Logan Hart are after him. Then it's Zach Tellerman, Kosei Suzuki, Andrew Raymond, Brody Miller, Brady Alves, and Sebastian Lopez rounding it out in ninth spot for the Blues. The Blues facing the right-hander, Julian Diaz-Resendez, a righty from Pioneer Valley High School. First pitch, Murillo will take it in there for a strike. Third baseman Hayden Hall crashing on the infield grass, maybe anticipating a bunt from Murillo, but he doesn't offer and takes strike one. Everyone now playing at regular depth, the 0-1. Diego takes it high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Murillo. Murillo leading off today. As Ryan and I said, kind of a sneaky bat for this Blues offense. Nothing really sneaky about him with his nearly 300 average as he gets hit in the back here. Hit by pitch to start off the game, 74 miles an hour from Diaz-Resendez, and a leadoff base runner for the Blues.
Yeah, Murillo, not sneaky, but has been struggling. 0 for his last 7, and maybe that'll turn it around, getting on base with a hit by pitch.
Yeah, Murillo struggling lately, but with that hit by pitch, trying to prove the naysayers wrong and get on base. Here's Hicksonbaugh. The first pitch to him is a called ball, 1-0. Jake starting at third today and batting second. He originally started out his career as an infielder. This happened 2 years ago when he first came to the Blues, and with an infield covered with talent, as it has been the past 3 years, he was booted to the outfield. Hicksonbaugh swings and misses for strike one here, and he was willing to take on that challenge and adapt and play the corner outfield for San Luis Obispo. A couple games at center, actually. And I think he's adapted well. As an athlete of his caliber, you know, there's a lot of utility guys on this team, and Hicksonbaugh's no exception. 1-1. Off the hands, and he spins it to the left side of the infield. The shortstop, Damry, and his former teammate, makes the flat-footed grab for the first out of the inning.
Got jammed there on the fastball by Diaz-Resendez, and was able to make contact with it, but not great contact, and barely blooped it right to the shortstop, Damry.
Here's Logan Hart playing center field today for San Luis Obispo. He's put on a pretty good defensive showing in the early going as his time with the Blues. Murillo takes off to second, but Hart puts it in play. It ticks off the glove of the pitcher Resendez. There's no throw to first. First hit of the day for San Luis Obispo. It moves Murillo into second and Logan Hart at first.
Not a well-hit ball, but it worked with the second base and going to cover on the stolen base. Left a gap open and just squibbed it over there.
A chopper that gets it done and keeps the line moving for the Blues. And it brings up Zach Tellerman, today's cleanup hitter, who hit a home run late in yesterday's game against the Orange County Riptide. This thing was a missile over the storage containers in the left field fence. Here's ZT with an open stance, filling out the entirety of the right-handed batter's box. The first pitch, Tellerman takes a slider outside. 1-0. Tellerman entering today's game with his .323 batting average. ZT buckled up on a slider and he takes it 1-1. And like Diego Murillo, kind of a Blues unsung hero a little bit this year. Still a smaller sample size than a lot of players with only 37 plate appearances. Don Jordan leads the team. He's almost at 100. But still, he's been very productive in his short time with SLO so far. The 1-1. Tellerman pops it up the opposite way. The right fielder, Zepeda, calls off his second baseman, Mata, and makes the grab. Both runners stay at their stations. 2 outs in the first inning. Here's Kosei Suzuki now. He's the starting right fielder for the Blues and gets a crack at it with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Kosei started yesterday for the Blues in their 8-1 loss against the Orange County Riptide. In that game, he went 1 for 4 with a strikeout and a couple of pop-outs. Had a single in the 9th inning following Zach Tellerman's home run in the top half of the frame. standing in the middle of the chalk. He swings at the first pitch, hits it off the mound. Mata chests it, flips it to second. The throw gets away. Murillo will come in to score. Hart into third. Suzuki slides feet first into second base. And the Blues strike first in the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 San Luis Obispo. A hit and an error from Kosei Suzuki. And that's the first error of the day for Santa Maria, as Andrew Raymond steps in with now a lead against the Indians.
That's one way to get it done. I mean, a hard hit ball at 94 gets Kosei Suzuki on base via the hit, and then an error on the second baseman to bring across a run.
First pitch to Raymond misses for ball one. Andrew, one of the three left-handed hitters in tonight's lineup for the Blues, playing in left and batting sixth for San Luis Obispo, a Bronco from Santa Clara. The 1-0. Raymond nubs it foul as it rolls into the Santa Maria on-deck circle for strike one. Andrew, like Zach Tellerman, has a small sample size in this summer. A late arrival. He arrived in the Northern California trip that the Blues took and played in his first game against the Walnut Creek Crawdads. He's kind of struggled so far, only 4 hits in his 21 at-bats. Fastball just missing off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Raymond, making his 6th start in a Blues uniform. An underwhelming first year at Santa Clara this past season, batting south of 200. Looking to change that here with the Blues. 2-1. Raymond lines it into the Blues dugout for strike 2. Runners on second and third. It's Kosei Suzuki at second following the base hit with an error. And Logan Hart at third. The 2-2. Raymond taps it on the ground right side. The first baseman, Cesar Garcia, flips it to the pitcher, Resendez at first, and retires the side. The Blues strike first. RBI single from Kosei Suzuki. 1-0 ball game heading into the second on the SLO Blues streaming network. New pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Robbie Lardner's day is done. His first start after Tommy John surgery a couple seasons ago. 1-2-3 inning against Santa Maria. His day's over. Just an inning of work. A couple of ground ball outs and a pop out to left. And first pitch from the new relief pitcher Charlie Ferris misses high to Cesar Garcia. 1-0. The pitch. Another hard fastball in there for a strike.
Back-to-back fastballs, both at 90 miles an hour to start it off.
Some fuzz from the Blues relief pitcher Ferris, making his slow Blues debut this afternoon. The 1-1 off the hands of Garcia as he sends it back into the screen for strike 2. Ferris is a Stephen F. Austin commit as of a couple weeks ago, and used to play football at Texas.
Place kicker.
Yeah. 1-2 to Garcia. Misses inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You don't see that often. The pipeline from place kicker to Division I pitcher. The 2-2. Curveball swung on and missed for strike 3. First strike of the day for Ferris. 4 Indians have been retired in a row. Good looking pitch there from Ferris. Kind of a curve slider hybrid. Either way, it got Cesar Garcia to chase for the first out of the second. Here's Yuli Call. Call's first pitch swinging as he fouls it behind home plate for strike 1. Ferris is born and raised in Houston, Texas. 6'2", 205 pounds. He was at Texas in 22 and 23. The 0-1, and Call chases for strike 2. Oh, 2 count. Ferris in the driver's seat against Yuli Call. The pitch. Call pops it up and out of play. We'll do it again at 0-2. 1 out in the top of the first inning. Blues struck first in the bottom half of the first. RBI single from Kosei Suzuki. Robbie Larner just came out of this game after pitching in 1 inning. As this one's fouled back at home plate, staying alive on the 2-strike count is Yuli Call.
Yeah, Robbie looked good. I figured he was probably going 1, maybe 2 innings today. You know, even though he's been throwing bullpens at about 100%, it's hard to come in a game and throw a couple of innings. It's a much different situation. So 1 inning of good work for him to kick off his competitive at-bats.
0-2, he gets buckled up on a slider for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Ferris. There's 2 gone in the second. Just fooled Yuli Call, almost jumped out of the batter's box to get out of the way of that pitch. Here's Johnny DeBrum, former Blue, batting 6th and playing left field today for the Indians. Wearing 1 batting glove on his bottom hand, the righty digs in against Ferris. First pitch, DeBrum takes high and inside for ball 1. Ferris is a new pitcher for the Blues, making his debut today, a Stephen F. Austin commit. In the bullpen is Charlie Royal, another Blue potentially making his debut today. 1-0. Fastball misses high. 1 ball, 2 balls, and no strikes. Royal, another Cal Poly Mustang. The past 2 games before this one, the starting pitchers have been Cal Poly Mustangs. Eric Kvidal, Luke Kovac. The 2-0. And there's a called strike, 2-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Johnny DeBrum from the windup. Fastball sent straight back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. DeBrum from Atascadero High School and a Lobo from Monterey Peninsula. A similar path to Jake Hicksonbaugh over at third base. Matter of fact, identical. 2-2. Pops it up into shallow right field. Suzuki, who was playing pretty in, makes the flat-footed grab to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, 6 Santa Maria Indians retired in a row. We head into the bottom half of the second inning, which is brought to you by Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop. Second inning is brought to you by Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop, located just around the road from Sinsheimer Stadium. Ancient Owl is your home for the Blues watch party all season long. Catch every Blues road game at Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop. Ancient Owl, choose your beer wisely. Brody Miller, tonight's catcher, takes strike one against Julian Diaz-Resendez. 7-8-9 due up for the Blues. San Luis Obispo scored their first run of the day back in the first, an RBI single from Suzuki, as Miller sends this one into shallow left, a base hit. Brody Miller, a leadoff single, and already the third hit of the day for the Blues.
Good piece of hitting by Brody Miller, who we haven't seen in action in a couple of weeks, and right there he just ropes one into left field.
Kept it compact. Got a plump fastball down the middle of the plate and just hammered it into left. And now it's Brady Alves, the shortstop, batting eighth today for the Blues. Miller at first, and Alves will take high. 1 ball and no strikes. Brady making his 10th start of the summer for San Luis Obispo. 4 hits in his 35 at-bats. 1-0. Alves takes low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The offense has been a struggle for Alves so far this season for San Luis Obispo, but all hands on deck on the coaching staff to get him on the right track. Coaches including Rene Regalado got a good feeling about this kid. The 2-0. Alves sends it straight back and just below us in the press box for strike one. It makes sense. Alves, a 3-sport athlete in high school. He can do it all. I mean, he's playing shortstop today, and we've seen him play the corner infield and third base for the Blues. Here's the 2-1. Alves flinches at a sweeper that misses outside. 3 balls and a strike to Brady. A Butte Community College redshirt freshman. He redshirted his past season at Butte. 3-1. Alves pops it up into shallow right. Zepeda comes in and calls off Mata at second. Makes the grab with 2 hands for the first out of the second inning.
Blues are just having a tough time hitting the ball on a line outside of that Brody Miller single. It's really been a lot of pop-ups and ground balls. To change the approach.
Usually the way the Blues games against the Indians go is there's a slow offensive lull, and at some point you get a strand of about 3 hits in a row, and everyone starts to realize they can see the ball pretty well, and the floodgates kind of open up. Here's the first pitch to Sebastian Lopez, and it's a called strike, 0-1. Seabass playing first base today and batting ninth for the Blues. This past summer with San Luis Obispo, and years before that, primarily a corner infielder at third, and can play up the middle too. Did that with the Red Hawks at Seattle. Lopez swings and misses for strike 2. But recently he's been getting more reps at first. Felt very comfortable at first base this past fall and spring with the Red Hawks, and was in a competitive battle for the position all of spring. He's playing first base today. The 0-2. Lopez leaves the slider off the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it was kind of funny when we saw Lopez first come out to first. Ryan and I are used to seeing him at third or short or second. And we got some confirmation that, yeah, he feels pretty comfortable there. 1-2. Lopez swings and misses for strike 3. Sebastian gets a slider up and inside. It broke into the zone, and he comes up empty for strike 3.
Maybe having a tough time seeing that slider right there. He just could not. It looked like he wasn't really picking it up in that at bat.
Here's the top of the order for San Luis Obispo, Diego Murillo, who was hit by a pitch to lead off the bottom of the first inning. Murillo swings at the first offering here and sends it into right center field. The center fielder call makes the grab, falling to his left side. Nice contact from Diego Murillo, but an even better play by Call in center. Strands Brody Miller at first base. 1-0 Blues, heading into the third on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Blues lead 1-0 against the Santa Maria Indians in the top half of the third inning. Going back out there, Charlie Ferris making his Blues debut today. Placeholder kicker for the Longhorns at the University of Texas for 3 seasons. Now going to Stephen F. Austin to play for the Lumberjacks. Strike one right here to Bo Sweeney. 7-8-9 due up for Santa Maria, and the left-handed hitting Sweeney is up first. Here's Ferris from the windup. Swinging a tapper behind home plate, no balls and 2 strikes. And Ryan and I were talking in between breaks here. It's incredible that you can be a placeholder kicker on a Division I SEC football team and then roll out of bed and throw 90 and go to another D1 school, Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen.
The 0-2, fastball up and away.
You know, I would expect, maybe that transition if you were like a quarterback, someone who throws the ball. But he's a kicker. He uses the legs.
Had to have been some specialty plays with him where he threw it, 1-2 off the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's always a thing in like high school where you get the guy that can play baseball and he's playing football. Usually they get that flea flicker. This guy's not going to throw it, and then he heaves it downfield. 2-2. Off the plate once again, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Sweeney as Ferris tries to nibble at the outer half.
Well, he goes from one sport where, football kickers are considered non-athletes, and to another sport where people consider pitchers non-athletes. Both are very athletic.
That's a good point. The payoff. Fastball just missing outside. First walk of the day from the Blues pitching staff. It comes from Charlie Ferris, and it's a leadoff one to Bo Sweeney in the third. Abel Mata, the second baseman, now batting 8th for Santa Maria. And Sweeney that whole time just getting a steady diet of pitches away from the left-handed hitter. Exact opposite to what we saw Ferris do in the second inning with back-to-back strikeouts. He was pounding the kitchen on hitters, whatever side of the box you were. Mata stabs at this pitch as he shows bunt, and it's strike one. Abel, a sophomore at College of Redwoods. Batted south of 200 in his first season of JUCO baseball. Shows bunt here as Hicksonbaugh crashes at third. Gets it down and pokes it foul. Strike 2 to Abel Mata. Abel from Santa Maria, California. Bats left and throws right. He graduated from St. Joe's High School. One of the more dominant athletic programs at the high school level on the Central Coast. The 0-2. Misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Ryan, I wonder what the game plan is here for Charlie Ferris. It kind of turned on its head this past inning. He was going in on all these hitters, and now he's kind of picking away. From the stretch, the 1-2. Runner takes off. Here comes the throw from Miller. The throw beats him by a mile, and Brody Miller throws out Bo Sweeney, trying to swap second.
That's a great throw by Brody Miller, who has not seen action in a good while, but right there makes a great defensive play. And to talk about your point about Ferris, got into back-to-back 0-2 counts, and then he's just nibbling the outside. Keep pounding the inside and try to get out of the at-bat with an out.
Big out there, a caught stealing from Bo Sweeney. And Abel Mata's in a 2-2 count. Swing and sends it straight back into the screen. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mata drove in a singular run this past season at Redwoods. 4 hits in his 30 at-bats. Here's the 2-2. Fastball just missing off the plate again. Fills it up at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Trying to nibble and not getting enough from the home plate umpire.
And Ferris, when you have 90-mile-an-hour stuff, you go at him, regardless of what level you are. 3-2. Weak grounder to the second baseman, Diego Murillo, who gets it on a big hop and flicks it over to first for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that was a tough ground ball for Murillo, but he's become accustomed to the grass here at Sinsheimer.
He sure has. With all the reps he's getting at second base, I mean, at this point, you could say he's an agrostologist. Here's Thomas Cepeda playing in right field and batting ninth today for the Indians. Cepeda takes strike one. One to 0 ball game at the top of the third. Blues lead the Santa Maria Indians on a pretty full night at Sinsheimer. Slow roller to the third baseman Hicksonbaugh, who gets his grip and throws it over to Lopez at first, and the side is retired. Charlie Ferris faces the minimum in the top half of the third. The Blues are up now. They lead 1 to 0 against the Indians on Slow Blues Streaming Network. Two, 3, 4 in the bottom half of the third inning. The Blues lead 1 to 0 against the Santa Maria Indians here at a lovely night at Sinsheimer Stadium. A nice showing here on Friday night.
Yeah, really good showing today. The orange row is full, the grass area. I mean, there's barely any green that you can see because there's just fans left and right.
A lot nicer day than what we've been seeing the past few evenings. First pitch to Hicksonbaugh is a called strike on the outer half. I mean, game time temperatures low to mid 60s, a little chilly, a little windy. 70 degrees at first pitch today, and low wind. That's pretty uncharacteristic at Sinsheimer. The 0-1, Hicksonbaugh takes it outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's going to be even more full about a week from today. 4th of July.
That's right.
Already sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll still have the fireworks show in the game for you here.
Yep.
So you can still tune in, but those tickets are sold out.
The 1-1, Hicksonbaugh swings and fouls it back for strike 2. Kosei Suzuki slapped an RBI single, and Murillo scored on an error. 1 to 0 Blues, where it stands right now in the bottom half of the third. Resendez on the 1-2. Hicksonbaugh pokes it the other way, and that'll drop for a base hit. 4th of the night for the Blues. Hicksonbaugh goes backside.
It's a good piece of hitting there by Jake Hicksonbaugh. He's struggled to put bat on ball in the games that he's been able to play, but right there is no problem shooting that one the other way.
For someone who pulls the baseball so much, it's very nice to see him go the opposite way with some thump, too. This was well hit and had some side spin going towards the left field line, but that's going to happen when you have a lefty go the opposite way. Here's another lefty, Logan Hart, who singled in the first inning. Hicksonbaugh takes off to second. There will be no throw. Hicksonbaugh's in there standing with a stolen base. Great jump from Jake. No contest there. And an easy stolen bag for the team leader in stolen bases last year for the Blues. 22 is how he finished the summer in the stolen base numbers. Hart on the 1-0. Check swings and foul tips it for strike 1. That's Jake's 3rd stolen bag of the summer for the Blues. 0-2 to Hart. And check that, it is 1-1. And strike 2 to Logan Hart. Zach Tellerman stands on deck. Jake Hicksenbaugh in scoring position following the stolen base after singling to lead off the third. The 1-2. Hart rolls on the pitch inside. It hits his shin, and he's hit by the pitch. Second hit by pitch of the day for the Blues offense. Runners at first and second now for the Blues. It's the cleanup hitter, Zach Tallman, with runners on first and second. And after the home run last night against the Riptide, you could say he's the powerhouse of this lineup, much like the mitochondria is to the cell. The first pitch, and Tarman takes it low, 1 ball, no strikes.
I mean, that ball was roped. A ton of power behind it, and it was the only offense the Blues had all night last night.
Better late than never. Launch to left field. ZT leaves the slider outside, not by much though. 2 balls and no strikes to Tallman. Swing and a miss on a changeup for strike 1. Paces around the batter's box. The wind's starting to blow in from center. Resendez comes set from the stretch. Hard at first, Hicksenbaugh second. Pitch in the dirt. Hicksenbaugh got a great jump as he head first slides into third. Excellent dirt ball read from Jake Hicksenbaugh. He saw it right out of the hand immediately. Easy stolen bag for Jake. Logan Hart stayed at first base, and runners are now at the corners for the Blues. Kosei Suzuki stands on deck. He singled in the first inning to bring home Murillo. 2-1. Tallerman skies it high and deep into center, but Call will have a play as he backs up near the warning track. Hicksenbaugh will easily tag from third and come in to score. Hart tags as well, and he advances to second. Sacrifice fly, Zach Tallerman, and the Blues extend 2-0 in the bottom half of the third.
Got the job done. The runner moves over to third base and did exactly what he was supposed to do. That ball was hit really well out to center. When blowing out, that one might have snuck over the wall.
Yeah, barely missed that baseball. And like you said, Ryan, if that wind wasn't blowing in, he might have a chance to one-hop the wall. Just got underneath it, but it works out. 2-0 ball game. Blues still lead. It's Kosei Suzuki. 4 hits on the night for the Blues. They collected number 4 with Jake Hicksenbaugh, who led off the inning with a single, and he came around to score. Suzuki takes strike 1. We talk about the importance of giving away free 90 feet. A poorly executed curveball from Resendez allowed Hicksenbaugh to steal third easily. And because of that, he was able to score on the sac fly. Pick over to second base to try to get Hart, and it goes into center field. Logan Hart with an easy stroll into third base. An error by the pitcher, Julian Resendez, and the second of the day for the Indians. Infield now playing in with Suzuki up. The 0-1. Kosei drills it into center field. Call comes in, makes the grab, tagging his Hart. Here comes the third of the plate. Logan scores! Another sacrifice fly. The catcher, Josue Garcia, couldn't glove it. A laser beam from Kosei Suzuki. He's driven in 2.
That works. Back-to-back sacrifice flies are how the Blues score 2 runs in this inning.
So now it's Andrew Raymond. First pitch changeup and a called strike to Drew. 2 outs in the 3rd inning, a couple of sacrifice flies. Scored a single from Hicksonbaugh and the hit by pitch of Logan Hart. Raymond takes another changeup, this time missing low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Drew. Brody Miller stands on deck for the Blues, wearing his shin guards as the catcher with 2 outs. From the windup, the pitch. Raymond slaps it on the ground to the right side. Mata throws it to first and retires Andrew for the 3rd out of the inning. But a couple of sacrifice flies from Zach Tellerman and Kosei Suzuki make it a 3-0 ball game in the 3rd on the SLO Blues Streaming Network.
New pitcher for the Blues, it's the Mustang, Charlie Royal. 3 straight days in a row where a Mustang pitcher pitching just down the road from their home stadium. For the San Luis Obispo Blues, Ferris goes 2 innings of work, doesn't give up a hit, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts as that one is popped foul and off the wiring that holds up the netting at the ballpark.
Haven't seen that too many times.
A once-in-a-lifetime thing. The ball just doing crazy things. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2. Very quickly, it is 0-2 to the leadoff batter, Hayden Hall. He'll be followed by Jerome Damry and Josue Garcia. Here in the top half of the 4th inning with the Blues leading 3-0. Swing and a miss. Drop 3rd strike, but Brody Miller will apply the tag just outside the batter's box for the 1st out of the inning.
Hayden Hall goes fishing. A nice looking slider from Charlie Royal. Gets Hall to go after it. And a bad swing on a ball in the dirt. Nice pitch from Royal.
Now it's Jerome Damry. He grounded out to 3rd his first time up. As the 3rd baseman Hicksonbaugh comes in on the infield grass, expecting a bunt from the lefty. This is the first pitch. It's a called strike. 4 pitches, 4 strikes for the new righty, Royal.
And Charlie coming off a season with Cal Poly, one you might want to forget, with a 6 ERA and 6 innings pitched.
That one is fouled back to the netting.
His most productive year, though, came in 2024, a 3.86 earned run average. 18 2/3 innings of work, 8 strikeouts and 8 earned runs. He's not going to be a big strikeout guy. He's going to make these Indians put the ball in play on some weak contact.
Despite that, he already has a strikeout here as the 0-2 is fouled into the parking lot.
Welcome to Long Prior & Associates CPAs as our
Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3. Damry goes down looking for the second strikeout of the inning.
Arroyo had 6 total strikeouts this past season at Cal Poly in his 6 innings of work. Already has 2 with the Blues.
4th strikeout for Blues pitching today. Charlie Ferris had 2. Robbie Lardner didn't have any in his inning of work. But, I mean, Robbie looked good out there. First competitive at-bats since Tommy John surgery. First pitch is down to Josue Garcia. Man, he had a good start. It was good to see him back out there. Stuck around with the team all last season just as a coach for the team, and now he's finally getting to play as that one is hit pretty well out into left field. Racing back on it is Raymond and making the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. A very quick 1-2-3 inning for the Indians, who trail by 3 as we head into the bottom half of the 4th inning, which is brought to you by SLO County Golf. Blues back up in the bottom half of the 4th inning, which is brought to you by SLO County Golf. They offer 3 incredible courses in SLO County, 1 in San Luis Obispo, 1 in Atascadero, and 1 in Morro Bay. They offer a unique combination of scenery and affordable prices. Book your next tee time now at slocountygolf.com. Nate and I are playing around probably at Chalk Mountain on Tuesday.
I kind of want to go to Morro.
You want to go to Morro? All right. Hit back up the middle by Miller, fielded by the shortstop Damry. Throw over to first. Then tagging Miller behind the back is Cesar Garcia. That was one of the oddest plays at first base I may have ever seen.
Let's just break down what happened. Garcia didn't have his back foot as you conventionally would at first base. Instead, he was kind of straddling the bag with neither feet actually touching the base. And I think he realized that at the last second and frantically put his heels on the base and in time to get Brody Miller. Weird.
Now it's Brady Alves as he shrugs away from that first pitch slider.
I will say you did talk about the new Chalk Mountain renovations, which got me excited.
I haven't been there. I just kind of figured we were going to go there because you're staying up in A-Town as that one hits Brady Alves. So it's pretty convenient for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But I guess, we haven't actually made a decision.
Well,
we will be going to a SLO County golf course.
Oh, at least one.
Yes.
It's this
either
summer?
Be,
yes.
Well, it'll on Tuesday specifically.
Oh, on Tuesday, yes.
Yeah, either probably Chalk or
Morro.
Just Dairy's is only 9 holes. I think we're doing 18, I think.
Yes.
So.
Yes, we're in there for the long haul. I like a quick 9 after the game, before the game.
Brady Alves goes to second, and he will be in there safely as that one was picked on the hop by Josue Garcia. A stolen base for Brady Alves puts a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Sebastian Lopez.
I was a Dairy Creek 9 demon last year.
Yeah,
you remember
man.
that?
Yes.
Those early games at 2, like,
Uh-huh.
let's just go.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's what I love about Dairy. You can just go. It's convenient. It's quick. It's cheap.
The base umpire calls a balk, so Brady Alves goes 180 feet in one pitch.
It's a little weird, kind of a late balk call. Tough to see what happened that time from Resendez. I mean, obviously looked a little funky because he had to stop his delivery coming to the plate, but that's not where the balk happened. There was a little bit of a twitch or something before that as he came set. Either way, another free 90 feet here for the Blues.
The Blues will take it. They got a runner on third with just one out. And I got to say, Nate, I don't know if I told you this, but I very recently broke my driver as Lopez swings over the 0-1 changeup.
That's my thing.
Yeah, like I was at swing time at Dairy Creek and just hitting, and I was with a friend and they were using my clubs, and like they did nothing wrong. Here's the 1-1, swung on and ripped through the right side for a base hit. Lopez, an RBI single in the bottom of the fourth.
Now Lopez driving in his first run of the summer. That ought to feel good to get the monkey off your back. A single through the 5-5 hole makes it a 4-0 ball game. Nice swing, Seabass.
Very good look at swing. He was out in front, but just pulled it through the gap and gets himself his first knock. So yeah, my friend technically broke my driver. No hate, like they were just swinging it, and it broke, which is, happens. But I got a new driver, not like brand new, new to me, as that one by Murillo is ripped into center field on a line, but right at call for the second out of the inning. The second ball that Murillo has hit really well, but just right at call.
Had 2 outs now. In the second inning, he hit one really hard right to the center fielder. Does the same exact thing here in the fourth inning for the second out of the frame.
I'm excited to use it on Tuesday.
Do I get to know what kind of driver it is?
It's a Titleist.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what brand. One of my roommates' friends was giving it away as Sebastian Lopez tries to steal second, and he will get there successfully.
A good jump from Seabass and an even better slide, too. I like how he didn't slide directly into the bag, sliding off to the right and kind of hooking it around with his left hand to avoid a potential tag coming in.
His first stolen base of the summer. Here's the 0-1 to Hicksonbaugh. It's off the end and flared on the infield right at Damry for the third out of the inning. The Blues get a run. Brady Alves hit by pitch, steals the bag, balk, and then scores on an RBI single from Sebastian Lopez. They now lead it 4-0 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Cesar Garcia will lead it off. Facing the Mustang, Charlie Royal. First pitch is fouled back.
On the first base side, that was over by the Portals. Whoever gets it takes it home thanks to Long Prior and Associates CPAs.
Garcia was a strikeout victim his first time as he watches a slider in there for strike 2. Struck out. That was the first batter that Ferris faced. Finds himself behind 0-2. Here's the pitch. Just misses. Looking for the slider. The front hip slider was Royal, but he doesn't get the call. And the count will be 1-2.
Yeah, did miss by much. Good slider from Royal.
1-2. Bounced in the dirt. A changeup. Blues looking to get a win after dropping their last 2 games, one to the Foresters and one to the Riptide. As that one is chopped on the infield. Alves will wait for it and then make a strong throw to first. Lopez stretching for the first out of the inning.
Take a look at the bottom of your program.
This is a non-league game for San Luis Obispo, so this will not count towards their playoff push in the CCL. It's another excuse to get out and watch some baseball, though.
Could also be a little bit of momentum going into this weekend where they play the Foresters twice. Once here, that game's tomorrow, and then once on the road. Swinging and missing is Yuli Call at the first pitch fastball. On the road on Sunday. Tomorrow's first pitch is 4 o'clock. Gates open at 3. You can get your tickets for that game still at bluesbaseball.com. Squaring the bunt is Yuli. He pulls it back. And on the road on Sunday in Santa Barbara, 2 o'clock start. Nate and I will be live on the call. Pre-game show will start at 1:45 with first pitch at 2 o'clock p.m. Here's the 1-1. Swung on in. Weakly hit into right field. Suzuki will wave his arm and call off Royal and Constantine and make the grab for the second out of the inning.
The Blues famously won 5-2 against the Foresters the first time they played them, and that was in Santa Barbara. A great victory, especially after being on the road for a couple of nights. You drive all the way down to Southern California and play in Compton. The Blues aren't great off the bus. They didn't look good against the Barons. Got a bounce back win against the Tide. Long nights. A good win off the bus against the Foresters.
First pitch swinging and first pitch missing is the left fielder, Johnny DeBrum. He flied out to right field. And his first at-bat, that was to end the second inning.
Of course, after that, the Blues played them on back-to-back nights at home.
That one in the dirt. 1-1. Blues have only given up a walk thus far in this game. That's the only base runner. It was Bo Sweeney. He was caught stealing for the first out of the third inning. And the Indians have gone down in order. Swinging and missing at the 1-1 is DeBrum for a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Blues pitching. Royal has his second in a row, and the Blues bats are back up in the bottom of the 5th inning, already leading by 4 here on the SLO Blues streaming network. pitching change for the Indians. It's Ryan Cronk. He'll have to deal with Logan Hart, Zach Tollerman, and Kosei Suzuki here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blues lead it 4-0.
Resendez's final line, 4 innings of work, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of them earned. No walks and no strikeouts.
First pitch to Hart is in the dirt. Cronk is a bulldog from Allen Hancock, the big 6 foot, 215-pound lefty. Facing the lefty Hart with a slightly open stance from the left side as he dodges out of the way of that one. Cronk just finished his 3rd year as a Bulldog. He threw 34 1/3 innings, gave up 16 runs, 29 strikeouts to his 9 walks, good ratio there. 1.57 whip with a 4.19 ERA for the lefty. Here's the 3-0 to Hart. It's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to start Cronk's day.
What's funny and what's honestly ironic is that typically we suspect Indians pitching to let up a lot of walks. We talk about free passes, especially on the base paths with wild pitches and hit by pitches. This is the first walk they've given up today.
Blues batters have been pretty aggressive out there. They've been hit 3 times, excuse me. Yeah, their first walk right there to Logan Hart. Tons of speed over at first base. Blues have already stolen a couple of bags, but now they have to deal with a lefty. As the first pitch to Tollerman is a strike right around the knees. .6'5" first baseman, batting from the right side. Watches that one low and in for ball 1.
And Cronk missing low frequently against these Blues batters, hitting the grass and interrupting the plant's photosynthesis on the way to the dish.
Here's a 1-1, blocked by Josue Garcia behind the dish. A former Blue returning to his old home turf. Here's the 2-1. Called strike 2. I guess I shouldn't call it turf because it is grass, as my agrostologist to my left mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Bermuda.
2-2 count to number 22. Hart gets an incredible jump, and it's called strike 3. Hart will steal second base on the strike 3 call. To Tollerman, that is the second Blue strikeout today.
It was Sebastian Lopez in the 2nd inning who struck out first. Zach Tollerman goes down here.
Tollerman did not look ready for the slider from the lefty. It buckled him as it slid into the zone. Now it's Kosei Suzuki. He already has a pair of RBIs in today's game. That one in the dirt and blocked by Garcia. Good block there.
Kosei is really seeing it well. He had that single in the 1st and that sac fly in the 3rd, which I feel like sac fly doesn't do it justice really because he hit it on the screws right to the center fielder call. It's a sac liner, I should say.
Hart dancing off second. Kosei Suzuki dribbles that one right back to the pitcher, and they have Hart in a rundown. Then he throws it to first and throws it wide. Hart is going to round third and score as Suzuki trots into second base. A 2-bag error by the pitcher. I'm so unsure what he was doing there. He had Logan Hart dead to rights.
I was just going to say that too, Brian. I mean, Hart was caught in the middle. I thought he was cooked if they threw it back to second base. And Cronk just looked like he looked at second just to look at second base. I mean, kind of like that's like, okay, that's my routine. That's what I'm supposed to do without even actually looking at Hart. He was a couple steps off the bag.
And they had Hart caught in between. Definitely could have got him into a rundown and got the lead runner, but instead it's a 3rd error of the game for the Indians. And Hart scores. Suzuki's now on second for Andrew Raymond. Lefty playing left field. 0 for 2 today, a pair of groundouts, both of them to the pull side. Here's the 1-0, misses away, 2-0. Raymond looking for his first hit in today's game. With Suzuki off second as he rips that one back up the middle for a base hit. Suzuki rounds third. He's heading for the plate. He is going to score. Raymond's trying for second, but he is caught in the middle. A run down, but nobody is covering first base, and he will run all the way back. The Blues score again on an RBI single from Andrew Raymond.
Now this was hit hard off the bat from Andrew Raymond, right into right center field. Easy scoring for Kosei Suzuki. And then Raymond got that run down. First base got forgotten like Vixen in the Reindeer group. Of course, everyone knows Rudolph.
Yes.
Everyone forgets Vixen.
Coming up to bat now with his Rudolph red-nosed bat is Brody Miller.
There you go.
See, watches strike one right around the knees. Blues now lead it 6-0. That was their sixth hit of the day as well. The 0-1 misses outside. Only one out so far in this inning. It came on a strikeout looking by Zach Tollerman. Now it's the 7-hole Brody Miller as he watches that slider on the outer part for a called strike 2. There's the 1-2. Miller goes chasing. Strike 3 swinging to Brody Miller, the second out of the inning. Now it'll be Brady Alves.
Yeah, both by way of the K, both by sliders as well. Tollerman took one, and Brody Miller took one as an out pitch. A setup from Ryan Cronk, and then delivering it outside of the zone. Miller goes fishing for strike 3.
Now it's the dairy farmer from Butte Community College. It's Brady Alves. As that pitch is in the dirt and getting a great jump on it is Raymond. He will get to second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, Garcia couldn't find it in the dirt. I think Raymond saw that and just booked it over to second base.
And yesterday, during Jersey Day, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. And I was so confused as to why Brady Alves knew so much about Aaron Rodgers' career. It makes sense because Rodgers played at Butte Community College. And that's where Alves plays.
Discount double check. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. He watches that one outside. Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of all of those.
Oh, yeah.
Those athlete commercials. Here's a 2-1. That one misses outside. 3-1 to Alves. Alves, going into his redshirt freshman season, was a beast at high school. Finishes four-year varsity career with a .448 average and a .1044 OPS. 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 21 doubles in those 4 years. He finds himself in a full count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped off the mound and right at the shortstop, Damry. Damry will throw it over to first for the third out of the inning. A 6-3 putout to end the inning. 2 strikeouts, but 2 runs for the Blues as they lead it 6-0 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Bo Sweeney due up in the bottom of the 6th inning, followed by Abel Mata and Thomas Zapata. 7-8-9 for the Indians, facing Charlie Royal. He's gone 2 innings, struck out 3 batters, hasn't given up a single base runner. There's the first pitch. Ball 1. Blues offense has scored in every inning except the second. 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. Putting together good at bats, 6 runs on 6 hits. As that one misses low, ball 2.
Still looking for some extra oomph from those bats.
That one misses outside and dropped by Brody Miller. Maybe call a strike if he caught it. Blues pitching has been masterful in today's game, not giving up a single hit thus far through 5 innings. As the get me over fastball is right there. It's 3-1. It's a 3-1. Swung on and flared. Stepping in the bucket was Bo Sweeney as he just barely made contact with that one.
And Bo uncommitted after graduating Mission Prep. 4-year varsity letter winner in baseball and 2-year varsity golfer.
Ball 4.
2 walks in this game for the Santa Maria offense. Both have come from a plate appearance by Bo Sweeney.
Bo Sweeney, the only Indian doing anything at the plate thus far today. A pair of walks. He was caught stealing his last time he was on first base. Now it makes way for Abel Mata, another lefty. Back-to-back lefties in this order for manager Jimmy Molina, as that one is flared into left field for a base hit. There goes the no-hitter for the Blues in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, just a bleeding ball into shallow left field. Alves giving it all his might, tracking it into the shallow part of the grass. Raymond with a good charge at it as well, but he just couldn't get there. Right in no man's land, Mata plops in a base hit.
Righty is getting loose for the Blues. To me, it looks like he's wearing number 18. That's Don Jordan's number. He's scoring to bunt, and missing is the right fielder, Zepeda.
I believe that's Matt Betancourt wearing 16.
Me and my bad eyes, having a tough time seeing all the way down there in the bullpen. Squaring to butt again, and missing once again is Zepeda. Nate just has better eyes than I do.
I mean, my eyes are okay. I mean, I have that kind of extraterrestrial vision, kind of, so you kind of can't blame me a little bit.
The 0-2 slider is blocked by Miller behind the dish.
You ever carrots, Ryan?
I actually had some carrots just yesterday.
Oh, good.
Or 2 days ago. No, yesterday. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. No drop, 3rd strike as first base is occupied. So down goes Zepeda. Another strikeout for Royal. His 4th and the 6th for the Blues pitching staff.
Yeah, nice job after allowing that walk and that single back-to-back base runners. You come back and you get the K against Zepeda. Nice looking sweeper. Gets him to chase in the dirt. Well executed from Royal.
Now 1 out for the top of the order in Hayden Hall. 3rd baseman batting from the right side, waggling his black bomb bat right behind his helmet as he has to slide out of the way of that one for ball 1. Hall 0 for 2, a ground out to Murillo and a strikeout. Here's the 1-0. A fastball for a called strike. The Aces are free. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Here in the top half of the 6th inning. Miller's going to go talk to his pitcher.
Blues baseball sponsored
Blues pitching has been extremely locked in today. Striking out 6, walking 2, just giving up 1 hit thus far between the 3 pitchers. It was the lefty Lardner who started it for the Blues. He threw an inning. And then it was Ferris who threw 2, and now Royal in his 3rd inning of work. Betancourt getting loose. And the bullpen most likely will take over for Royal whenever manager Dean Traynor feels it's appropriate that he comes into this game. Miller returns to his spot behind the plate. Here's the 1-1. That slider that's right down the middle for strike 2. Good bender that started at the front hip and broke right into the zone. It's now 1-2 to Hayden Hall. Just misses. Good slider there. Hall triggered but did not swing at it. And it'll now be a 2-2 count. Hall, a freshman, uncommitted freshman, as he watches ball 3. Count runs full.
They missed by much on that fastball from Royal, trying to hit that lower outer half of the zone. I thought he pinpointed it, just missed by a little bit.
Wants to play baseball at Cuesta as he spikes the fastball into the dirt, ball 4, and ducks on the pond for Jerome Damry.
It's the biggest moment of the game for the Indians right here. Dean Traynor wanting to stop the bleeding as much as possible. Still scoreless for Santa Maria, but they're threatening with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Easily the best inning that the Indians have had offensively, with a couple of walks and a strikeout. Prior to this, they only had 1 total base runner in the entire game. Dean takes a long route to the mound to talk to his pitcher. I didn't see him make a move quite yet, and it doesn't necessarily mean when he goes out there that he will be taking the pitcher out of the game. But he takes the ball and makes the move. Matt Betancourt will come in with the bases loaded and 1 out. Blues still lead it by 6 as we will go to a break and let you know all about Betancourt after this. The new pitcher is Matt Betancourt. Take a look at his numbers thus far this year. He's making his 6th appearance. In his previous 5, he holds a 1-0 record with 10 innings pitched. 7 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 6 walks. to his 7 strikeouts, also has a save this season. So he will face Jerem Damry with the bases loaded and 1 out with a 6-run lead. First pitch is a fastball for a called strike, catching the outer part of the plate.
The Royals' day is done after 2 1/3 innings of work, allowed a hit, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. All of the runners on the base paths will go under Royals' name.
Betancourt going to try to make it so that number is 0, as blocking that ball is the catcher, Brody Miller. Here's the 1-1. Floating away. Slipping out of the hand of Betancourt. 2-1 to Damry. A strikeout looking. This is the second strikeout victim to Royal. And then a ground out. That was against Robbie Lardner in the first. There's a 2-1. Fastball on the ground. Could be a double play. Flip to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time. A fielder's choice brings in a run for the Santa Maria Indians. They get the runner at second. Ball is just not hit hard enough to turn 2.
Yeah, not hit hard enough, and Damry's a pretty solid runner going down the first base line. That hurts for the Blues because you sacrifice that run at home and you try to turn that double play. You only get 1 leg of it, so essentially the worst case scenario just happened for the Blues.
Still up 5 runs. Now they have 2 outs with runners on the corners for Josue Garcia, most dangerous hitter in this Indians lineup. Catcher batting from the left side who slugged over 560 this last season.
That's also not true. The worst case scenario that time would be a home run.
Slider doesn't catch the zone. 2-0 to Garcia with another Garcia. This one Caesar waiting on deck. Here's the 2-0. Fastball misses low and away. Miller thought it was a strike. To no avail, as it'll be 3-0. Miller getting his first action since June 8th. Almost 20 days ago, as that fastball catches the outer part for strike 1. Since then, it's been a constant rotation of Button with Charlie Caruso and Cam Andrews, as that one is ripped through the right side for a base hit. Another runner will score as Suzuki will get it in quickly to keep the runners at first and second. An RBI single for Josue Garcia.
The Blues got to lock it in quickly. Josue's the best hitter on this Indians roster. You don't want to make this a quick game against Santa Maria. Up by 4 now, following the RBI single from Garcia.
I definitely don't want to give them any sort of life here in this game. They can take it and run with it. A team that can score runs. They stuck in with the Blues and were actually winning at one point. The last time they played, the Blues ended up winning that game 4-1, but it was 0-0 going into the 7th. And then the Indians scored in the top of the 7th inning to take a 1-0 lead. And they took that 1-0 lead into the 8th inning. The Blues scored 2 in the 8th. As that one is chopped on the ground. Alves will have to go the long way, gets stuck in his glove and throws it way high of Lopez. A run will come in to score on the air, and both runners move up another 90. A crucial error by Brady Alves, as that one just got stuck in his mitt and then he tried to rush it over to first. And E6 gives the Indians another run. They cut the lead in half.
A blow-up inning that just can't happen for the Blues. I understand it can, and it just did. But in a perfect situation, you can't give free bases to the Indians. Just gave them a free run right there with that error.
Now it's Yuli Call, who watches a slider that doesn't break enough. It's ball 1.
With that error over at shortstop, Jerem Damry, who reached on that fielder's choice, which was just a force out at second base, he scores.
Swinging and missing for strike 1 is Call. 0 for 2, a strikeout looking. That was to Ferris. And then a fly out That was against Royal. There's a 1-1 from Betancourt. Ugly swing and a miss. And the fans bellow for their hot sauce, wanting their hometown team, the Blues, to get out of this inning and get the bats back up there. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and chopped to third. Hicksonbaugh will make the throw across the diamond. It is high and over the head of Sebastian Lopez. Another throwing error for the Blues brings in 2 runs for the Indians. A 5-run inning, and the Indians have only recorded 2 hits.
I'm not sure why Hicksonbaugh tapped third there. As he was charging that ground ball, he made sure to step on third base, too. There was not a force there. So he did not need a tap on the base. And I think that's what messed up the throw.
If he really wanted to tap third, he could have just tagged the runner out who was running right at him. Instead, he makes an error over to Lopez. Blues have 2 errors in this inning. They have 2 errors total as well. If they're coming off a night where they had 6 errors yesterday against the OC Riptide and an 8-1 loss.
It's a quick meeting there from Brian Traynor.
Oh, it's Johnny DeBrum with Bo Sweeney on deck. He led off this inning. DeBrum 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout. First pitch is ripped on a line for a base hit. Rounding third, and the throw is going to be in plenty of time, but they're going to get Betancourt for interference. Betancourt was standing right in the base path. They had the runner call dead to rights.
I'm not sure why Betancourt was in the running lane there, because he was not the cutoff man. He was just looking at the baseball the whole time and never saw the runner in Ulysses Call coming around third to score.
Dean Trainor's going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire, but Dean has no argument here. That was interference through and through. Betancourt, the pitcher, was standing dead in the baseline, and rounding third, Call slipped. Very easily was going to be out at home, and he was out by a mile.
Yeah,
He got bailed out because Betancourt was in the base path, and this inning for the Blues has just been a disaster.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare. Nothing has gone their way at all, and all this coming with 2 outs, too. 3 runs coming to score, 4 now after the 2 outs. Indians have tied it at 6.
Dean successfully got the umpires to huddle up and talk about this one. I don't know really what there is to talk about.
There's no angle or anything that you could skew at that differently. I mean, Betancourt was in the way, and he got ran over. It was interference.
And I would get it if Betancourt was not right in the middle of the base path, but he was right in the middle of the base path. There is nothing. I don't see them overturning this at all.
I don't know what Dean is looking for there also.
Going to be ruled interference after the huddle, and it'll be a 6-6 ball game. Dean is still out, and now I'm not sure what he's doing. I think maybe just taking the scenic route to the bullpen. But he's still out on the warning track, out of his dugout. Now he walks into the dugout. The Blues were up 6-0 coming into this inning, and after that one is flared in foul territory. Running over is Hicksonbaugh making the grab for the 3rd out. A disastrous inning for the Blues. They give up 6 runs on just 2 hits, record 2 errors, an interference, and 2 walks. It is 6-6 going into the bottom of the 6th. That is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects.
Now for the Blues.
Batting now, it's Sebastian Lopez after a monstrosity of an inning. A 6-run top half of the 6th, where the Blues made 2 errors that'll go up on the scoreboard and multiple other errors mentally to give the Indians 6 runs. It's 2-0 to Sebastian Lopez, who struck out, he has a base hit and a strikeout in this game. He also stole a bag as he watches that slider from Kronk for a called strike. Kronk in his second inning of work. He gave up 2 runs in the last inning, but neither one of them were earned. Just 1 hit and an error. And swinging and missing for strike 2 is Sebastian Lopez. Lopez spent last season here in San Luis Obispo where he struggled, and then had a good spring for the Red Hawks up in Seattle. Coming back down again for this summer, and has got off to a slow start, but picking up his first hit in his last at-bat. There's also an RBI single. Brady Alves scored. He leads off and finds himself in a full count as he watches strike 3, a fastball at the knees. Couple of words for the umpire, and then we'll make his way back to the dugout. Second strikeout of the day for Lopez, and third strikeout of the day for Cron.
Number 7, the top of the order.
That's the top of the order, and Diego Murillo. Murillo, former player of the week this last week, as hailed by the press box members, Nate and I, our statisticians, and our social media team, as that one is in the dirt. Murillo spent this last year at Northeastern State, recorded 58 hits and 202 at-bats, 4 home runs, as he watches strike 1. The Aces are free to the leadoff hitter, hit by a pitch and later scored in the first, and then 2 really hard-hit lineouts to center field. There's the 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. Rio in a little bit of a slump, 0 for his last 9. Does have a walk and a hit by pitch in that time frame, as the 2-1 misses outside, 3-1. Last week, he was all over the place with that bat, finding every single inch of outfield grass and knocking in a couple of doubles in that week as that one is fouled off.
First base side. By the taco truck. Thanks to Longfire and Associates CPAs for sponsoring our free follow balls tonight.
Sebastian Lopez struck out looking to lead off this inning. Murillo finds himself in a full count just like Lopez did. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit into right field, slicing away from the right fielder Zepeda, but he will get under it and make the grab for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Murillo just got underneath that one, slicing it towards the right field line, just missing it. I mean, we talked about it earlier. He's got a couple of hard liners to center field. That time a little tardy in the barrel path, a little underneath the baseball too. Didn't miss it by much, but he's 0 for 3 today.
It was slicing away. That ball had a lot of movement, getting away from Zepeda. Continued to travel with it and make the grab. Now it's Hixenbaugh with 2 outs. First pitch misses inside. To the lefty, who just recently announced his commitment to play at CSU Pueblo, Division II program in Colorado. 1-0 is swung on and fouled back. Had a good season this last year at the Monterey Peninsula.
Been to Colorado?
I have not. Well, actually, I have been, but my parents took me there when I was like 6 months old, so I don't remember it. Yeah. One misses inside to Hixenbaugh.
Their airport, there's a lot of rumors about their airport.
What about it?
Illuminati. You buy into that?
I mean, I haven't heard of any of these conspiracies.
Well, hopefully Jake has a safe flight going into Colorado. A lot of extraterrestrial nonsense happening in that airport. So I've heard.
Here's the 3-1. Inside. Ball 4 to Hicksonbaugh. 5-pitch walk after getting Lopez on strikes and Murillo via the fly out. Hicksonbaugh is on base for Logan Hart, who has reached base safely all 3 times.
Second walk of the day for the Blues. They're trying to ambush early and often against these Santa Maria pitchers, and I get it. Especially tied by 6 right now, running out of time in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Want to get to hacking. Hicksonbaugh just didn't really have any options there. Draws the walk though. Gets some good speed on the base paths. Last time he reached, he stole 2nd and 3rd.
However you can get it. Now the Blues will take it as in the dirt to Hart. It's 1-0. Mentioned all 3 times he's reached base safely. Base hit in the 1st, hit by pitch and a run in the 3rd, and then a walk, a stolen base, and a run in the 5th. Here's the 1-0. Sort. Cronk gets an ugly swing out of Hart, make it a 1-1 count.
Now that swing wasn't a sword. That was more like a lightsaber that a Jedi would swing. Just whooshing over that curveball in the dirt.
Nate, we've been talking a lot about movies recently.
You sure have.
Speaking of Jedis, I've never seen any of the Star Wars movies.
I'm okay with that.
Runner goes, no throw. Ball misses inside. A stolen base. Sliding into second is Hicksonbaugh, even though there was no throw. Regardless, stolen base and a runner in scoring position for a Blues team that just gave up 6 runs and now find themselves in a tie ballgame.
Hicksonbaugh exceeds his stolen base total entering today's game with that stolen bag.
Swinging and missing is the center fielder Hart. First time we're seeing Hart in center field, mainly occupied by E.J. Royal, who's getting the day off after an 0 for 3 day where he made 3 errors. Here's the Deuces Wild offering, and the count runs 4.
That's okay. You haven't seen Star Wars. I'm not a giant Star Wars guy. I used to be when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then my father showed me Spaceballs. You know that movie?
Nope, I've never seen that one either.
It's like a Star Wars spoof.
Huh. Full count. Swung on a miss. Drop third. They'll have to throw it down to first. Hart drops the bat, and they will get him. Blues go down in the 6th. It's a tie ball game. And they will look to hold the Indians at 6 in the top of the 7th. As I'll pass it over to my partner and my pal, Nate Mills, for the remainder of the ball game here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network.
Top of the 8th inning here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues and the Indians tied at 6. And a pinch hitter coming in to hit for Abel Mata. We don't have an identifier on this batter quite yet, but we'll get that to you immediately. Here's the first pitch from Betancourt, and it misses high, 1-0. So Abel Mata is out of this game. The Indians batted around in the 6th inning where they scored 6 runs. Sweeney ended it with a pop out to the third baseman Hixenbaugh. Now it's Mata. The 1-0. Misses high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Actually not listed. There's no number 46 listed on the roster. There's only 2 people without a number, though. One is Chris Johnson. That's not Chris Johnson. We know that. So my guess is Andrew and Scalo.
Here's a sweeper missing outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
And Suelo, excuse me. Andrew and Suelo.
The 3-0. And there's a called strike on a changeup. 3 balls and 1 strike. Betancourt from the stretch. On the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. I believe my gringo partner to my right meant to say Angulo.
I'm reading chicken scratch on this scorecard we were given. I tried my best.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Extraterrestrial slider from Betancourt. Good pitch from Matt. 1 gone in the 7th inning. Here's Thomas Cepeda now, the right-hander, standing upright in his stance in the batter's box. First pitch. Cepeda takes it outside, 1-0. Pretty nice night here at Sinsheimer Stadium. The sun's starting to set behind Madonna Mountain. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Madonna Mountain, one of the 9 sisters that line the Central Coast Valley here in SLO. That's responsible for the cold air at night and the fog. Bringing all of that energy from Morro Bay. Cepeda cues this into the on-deck circle for the Blues side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And also, one of the 3 legs in the Tri-Tip Challenge.
Yeah, we did the Tri-Tip Challenge together last year. Yeah, last summer.
For those of you not familiar, there's this challenge you have to do if you live in SLO. A 1-2. Cepeda goes down swinging. A sweeper from Matt Betancourt. Strikes out his 2nd batter in a row. The challenge is there are 3 different distinct peaks in San Luis Obispo proper. Bishop's Peak, Madonna Peak, and the Cal Poly P located on Cal Poly's campus. The challenge used to be if you do all of those hikes in one day and show proof to the cashier at Firestone Grill, they give you a free sandwich. Swing and a miss here for the leadoff man Hayden Hall for strike 1. That has since changed because of the economy and inflation. There is no prize. You just kind of do it for the tradition now. The 0-1. Hall swings and pops it up out of play and near the latrine down the first base line for strike 2.
Important to note, you still get the Tri-Tip sandwich. You pay for it.
You buy the sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's not a gift.
It's an integral part because I honestly am not a big fan of Firestone, which I might get hate for.
What are you talking about, Ryan?
I'm not a huge fan of Firestone. You can hate on me for it all you want.
You might be the biggest contrarian I know, dude.
I'm just not a big fan. But after I had it at the Tri-Tip, when we did the Tri-Tip Challenge, it was incredible.
1-2. And that might have nipped him. He stays in the box. No hit by pitch there to Hayden Hall. 2-2. The one thing I'll give you, the tough call, is it better than Old Slow Barbecue? I feel like they're neck and neck.
I actually like Old Slow's better.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 strikes, 3 sliders retire, 3 Indian batters all by way of the K. Bottom half of the 7th. It's time to stretch. The SLO Blues streaming up. Some Chaparral for you to start off the bottom half of the 7th inning. Fanatics just finished stretching here at Sinsheimer for the 7th inning stretch. Tied game at 6. Zach Tarman leaves it high for ball 1. ZT had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd, where the Blues put up 2 runs on a couple of sacrifice flies. 1-0. Tarman pops it up and out of play for strike 1. A new pitcher into the game, too, for the Santa Maria Indians. It's a right-hander, Alex Ramos. Kosei Suzuki stands on deck for the San Luis Obispo Blues in an offense that has got to get going here sooner rather than later. Tallman calls time at the dish. He's got something in his eyes. He backs out of the batter's box. Tallman also popped out to right field and struck out looking in the 5th. A 1-1. Tallman takes strike 2. Nicely located changeup that time from Alex Ramos as he paints the corner. And ZT in a 2-strike count. With a wide open stance. Here's the 1-2. Tallman with a lazy swing and a high pop up to center. Call gets underneath it and makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, not Tallman's best swing. Coming off a home run last night, a 2-for-4 night. He struggled a little bit in today's game. He had that sac fly that was pretty well hit, but outside of that, just a couple of lazy fly balls and a strikeout.
And a couple of good walk-up songs at this part of the order for the Blues. Hot to Go by Chaparral for Zach Tallman. Tokyo Drift for Kosei Suzuki.
I really like Logan Hart's too. I have no idea what song it is, but I always groove to it. It's a good one.
First pitch, and Kosei sends it high in the air to right center field. Call gets underneath and waves off his right fielder. Second out.
Let's see what Raymond has for us.
Oh.
Hey, and I are out.
How's Logan Hart's rock-up song? You know, we're in our headsets, and I don't always hear it.
I know what it is, and every single time it comes on, like I don't even know what song it is. I just mess with the vibe, and I just start bugging.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, maybe next time he comes up, I'll have to Shazam it so I know what song it is. Suzuki retired on the pop out to right center. It's Andrew Raymond. He's got a hit today in the 5th. The 0-1. Andrew sent it straight back for strike 2.
Blues at this point looking for any kind of offense to give them the lead back.
Two outs, an 0-2 count to the left-handed hitter from Santa Clara. Brody Miller stands on deck. He's singled in the 2nd. Excuse me, swing as it spins into the fence behind home plate. We'll do it again in the 0-2 count to Andrew Raymond. The lights come on at Sinsheimer. Here's the 0-2. Raymond swings and misses for strike 3. Ramos climbs the ladder and faces the minimum in the 7th. We head into the 8th, tied at 6 on the Slow Blue Stream Network. 2-3-4 due up for the Santa Maria Indians. Top half of the 8th. Jerem Damry swings and misses the first pitch from Matt Betancourt for strike 1. A tied ball game at 6 apiece in the top of the 8th. Sun slowly coming down in San Luis Obispo. Cold breeze trickling in. And Damry takes outside for a ball. Jerem today is hitless. Reached on a fielder's choice, though, in that fateful 6th inning for the Santa Maria Indians, and eventually came around to score. Pokes it to the second baseman, Murillo. Easy flip over to first base for the first out of the 8th. Here's Josue Garcia. An RBI single in the 6th inning. Again, a part of that fateful 6th inning. All of the runs this game for Santa Maria came in that frame. Blow-up inning from Matt Betancourt and Charlie Roy. Garcia takes low and inside for ball 1. Santa Maria Indians 6 runs on 3 hits. Garcia takes strike 1. Count even at a ball and a strike to Josue. It's been an ugly matchup today. 5 errors between these two teams. Blues have 3, Santa Maria with 2. 0-1. Josue takes high and 2 balls and 1 strike now.
Still less than what the Blues had last night with their 6 errors against the Riptide and an 8-1 loss. Which is crazy. It came off a game with 0 errors, which they've only done a handful of times this year.
2-1. The changeup just misses off the plate for ball 3. Bullpen empty for the Blues as the 3-1 comes home, and it hits off the back foot of Garcia. Josue jogs over to first base on the hit by pitch with 1 out. He brings up Cesar Garcia. 0 for 3 day for Cesar. Reached on air in the 6th, scored, grounded out to the shortstop Alves, and struck out swinging in the 2nd. The first pitch is taken for strike 1. Garcia standing in there in his red top with the gray bottoms. Blues wearing the classic home pinstripe with the navy blue going down the center of the chest. The 0-1. Garcia waves and misses at an off-speed pitch for strike 2. Oh, 0-2 count to Cesar Garcia. He's already struck out once today. Conservative lead at first base for Josue. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Cesar Garcia goes down on the sweeper. And that's the 2nd out of the 8th inning. That's been the out pitch for Matt Betancourt in his outing. The sweeper has been very effective against the Santa Maria offense here and continues to do so in this frame. Looks like we got another pinch hitter, too. We'll get you some more information on him. Number 18 for the Indians. He's replacing Ulysses Call. Sends it into left center field. Raymond moving to his left, and he makes the running grab. Andrew Raymond with some nice strides in the gap makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. We head into the bottom half of the 8th inning, tied at 6. SLO Blues Streaming Network.
John Zimmerman, Jessica Donaldson.
Round the 8th, brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union, conveniently located in Paso Robles. They can be found at myecu.org. Experience smarter banking at Educational Employees Credit Union. Bottom third of the order due up for San Luis Obispo. Brody Miller leads it off, and he takes a pitch high and inside for ball 1. Brody today hit a base hit into left field back in the 2nd. Since then, a ground ball out to the shortstop Damery and a strikeout swinging in the 5th. 1-0, a big swing and a miss here for strike 1. Alex Ramos back out there pitching for the Indians. Here's the 1-1, and Brody pokes it up and out of play off to the right. Strike 2 to Miller. On a new baseball at home plate, Miller awaits the offering from Ramos. Brady Alves stands on deck, the 1-2. Miller takes it for strike 3. And it looked to be off the plate to me, and a call doesn't go Miller's way.
Bring up number 14, shortstop Brady Alves.
All in the dirt. The pitcher Ramos gets a pitch. Second strikeout of the day for Brody Miller.
He had that really nice base hit in the 2nd, but since then has been a little uninspiring at the plate, back-to-back strikeouts.
First pitch to Brady Alves. Misses inside for ball 1. Brady hitless today, reached on a hit by pitch in the 4th and came around to score, a stolen base, and a balk. For 1-0. Alves takes it low and outside for ball 2. That pitch looked awfully similar to the one that Miller just struck out on. The 2-0. Alves buckled up on a pitch high and inside, and it misses. 3 straight to Brady, 3-0 count. Sebastian Lopez stands on deck. He's 1 for 3. Here's the 3-0 to Alves. He takes it low for ball 4. Garcia keeps it in front, and a walk for Brady Alves puts a 1-out base runner on first.
Blues looking to score a run in the 8th and take a lead once again. It's been an up and down contest for the Blues. They scored 6 straight to start the game. 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, but then gave up 6 in the 6th.
Offense kind of falling flat here in the late going for the Blues. Looking to pick that up here. Sebastian Lopez trying to be the man to do it. Third baseman Hall crashes in. Runner takes off to second. Alves with the jump, with a head first slide. He's in there safe. Stolen bag for Brady Alves, and a runner in scoring position for Sebastian Lopez.
33-21, 3-3-2-1 is the number. Take that one. Big Ten gets your own fast speed seat cushion from Promotional Concepts. 33-21.
Lopez with the runner at second now. Here's the 1-0. Seabass swings and misses on a sweeper for strike 1. Leadoff man Diego Murillo stands on deck for San Luis Obispo. Infield playing at medium depth with 1 out and a runner on second. 1-1 to Lopez. Pops it up high in the air to right field. Zepeda camped underneath. Makes the grab. The runner Alves tags from second. He comes to third, and the throw is way late. Zepeda had some trouble with that baseball on the right, but they rule it on the transfer. The out is on Sebastian Lopez, but Alves tagged from second and advanced to third, and now Dean Traynor heads out there to talk to the first base umpire on that play. And again, I understand standing up for your guys. I'm not exactly sure what Traynor wants out of this conversation.
I'm not either. It's pretty clear cut on the transfer to me.
So Brady Alves with the savvy base running, tag from second and move to third. A productive out from Sebastian Lopez to keep the line moving for Murillo, with a chance to take the lead in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Traynor fighting for his guy over there at first base, as Seabass is still standing on the bag. now the umpires are all going to converge to the right of the mound. I don't know if it's an angle thing or what. I mean, it looked like it was on the transfer from Cepeda out in right field. The trainer retreats to the dugout as Murillo impatiently waits in the batter's box for his turn. Go-ahead run stands 90 feet away. And again, hats off to Brady Alves for tagging up on that pop fly. It was kind of a dicey tag up too because it wasn't hit all that deep. It could have been a chance for Cepeda to throw him out had the ball been transferred cleanly. Lopez is ruled out on that fly ball that moved Murillo into third.
Murillo with a chance. 90 feet away is the leading run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blues haven't scored a run in the last 2 innings. That's the longest streak today.
First pitch, Murillo swings and misses for strike one. And Alves getting an aggressive lead off third base. A hippo separates him in the bag. That's how far he was off the base. 0-1-0. Murillo takes low and outside on the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes.
Triggered but held back. That was good job by Murillo. Yes, 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 no last minute when he saw that it wasn't going to be a strike.
The pitch. Murillo chases on a fastball high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Diego having to be tough with 2 here. With 2 outs, you got to get a base hit to score the run. Hicksonbaugh stands on deck. He's got a hit today. The 1-2. Diego takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Murillo has just missed 3 line drives today. 2 in the center and 1 in the right. Trying to find a gap here. The 2-2. Murillo pops it up into center. Playable for Call, who takes a few steps back and makes the grab, and will head into the 9th inning till still tied at 6.
Let's see, it's next Tuesday, July the 2nd.
Indians up on the SLO Blues Streaming Network as Matt Battencourt heads on out there.
Individual.
Tying at 6 in the top of the 9th. Johnny DeBrum leads it off for the Santa Maria Indians. Blues were threatening with the go-ahead run 90 feet away in Brady Alves, but Murillo popped it out to center field to end the frame. DeBrum swings and foul tips it behind home plate. Might have caught a piece of Miller behind the dish. And Miller writhing in some pain inside that left-handed batter's box. A foul tip from Johnny DeBrum that caught a piece of Brody. Athletic trainer heads on out there to check with Miller as he writhes in pain with his mask off. Dean Trainer taking his time walking out there too. Johnny DeBrum in an 0-1 count against Matt Betancourt as he tries to seal the Santa Maria Indians offense here, tied at 6. It was a 6-run, 6th inning after getting shut out 5 innings in a row. Blew up in the face of San Luis Obispo and tied the game. Innings 1 through 5, the Blues scored in all but 1 inning the second.
If the Blues are going to win this game, they're going to have to do it in walk-off fashion now against the Indians. We're trying to squeak out a win, traveling about 35 minutes north to take on their foe from just down the 101.
This is kind of a historic game, too. The Indians have been around longer than the SLO Blues have. There's an asterisk there, though. They've been in and out of existing. It's nice to see them come back and play some baseball here. There's a lot of popular alumni from the Santa Maria Indians. Ozzie Smith is the biggest name, Hall of Famer, 13-time Gold Glove Award winner. The 1-1. DeBrum swings and misses for strike 2. Torey Lavello, the manager for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And on the theme of Pride Month here in June, Billy Bean, openly homosexual baseball player. The 1-2. DeBrum flinches, but it misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Formerly a professional affiliate team. Tons of storied baseball players.
2-2. This one skied into center. Hart, who was playing awfully shallow, takes a few steps back, saunters over and makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Brum hit that one pretty well, just a little underneath it. Sent Hart back into his left to make the grab. One hand, and the Blues are 2 outs away from getting the bats back up with a chance to win it.
New pinch hitter for Santa Maria, number 6. Get you that information in just a minute. The first pitch, and it's a slider, a called strike from Betancourt, 0-1.
It's Jonah Lopez.
Here's Jonah, the right-handed hitter, against Matt Betancourt. Lopez swings and misses for strike 2. Betancourt in the driver's seat against Lopez. Chokes up on the bat slightly. 0-2. Slider taken for strike 3. Second out of the 9th inning. And Betancourt, what do you know, gets him again with the slider. That's been the bread and butter for Matt Betancourt, especially in 2-strike counts. He's gotten guys to look at the slider. He's gotten guys to chase the slider. That time Sweeney chased, or Lopez chased. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Game tied at 6. Here at the top of the 9th inning at Sinsheimer Stadium. Blues looking for some walk-off magic tonight. The 1-0. Softly hit to the right side. Suzuki was playing shallow, makes the grab on top of the chalk, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down. The Blues with a chance to win it in front of a beautiful home crowd at Sinsheimer on the SLO Blues streaming network. All right, here we go. Heart of the order due up for San Luis Obispo in the bottom half of the 9th inning in a tied game. Hicksonbaugh takes the first pitch high for ball 1. 2, 3, 4. Jake Hicksonbaugh, Logan Hart, and Zach Tallerman due up in this tied game against the Santa Maria Indians at 6 apiece. Here's the 1-0. And Hicksonbaugh will take it for ball 2. Here's the 2-0. Jake will take it low. 3 straight balls for Hicksonbaugh. The lefty. On the 3-0, takes outside, and that's ball 4. Game-winning run now stands at first base. All right, I'll tell him, Ryan.
Yeah, do it.
Some cool news. I'm a Sun Devil from Arizona State, and with the final pick in the first round, the Calgary Flames select Colin Potter, the first Sun Devil hockey player to go in the first round of the NHL draft in school history. They didn't have a program until like 2018.
Well, you have some cool backstory with Potter, too, that I'll also let you share with the fans, but I figured I'd bring up because you can toot your own horn.
Logan Hart takes the first pitch for a strike. Yeah, the first hockey game I ever called featured 2 Colin Potter goals against Western Michigan, who went on to win the NCAA championship this season.
It's crazy watching how, I was able to see your call, and it was crazy seeing how, the way he can contort his body on the ice and score goals.
Colin is unbelievable. He's such a fast skater, like a raconteur, the way he skates around the ice. 0-1. Hart swings and misses for strike 2. Very fun to watch him play. Very fun to call that goal that took the lead against Western Michigan. Sun Devils lost in overtime eventually, but still a cool moment. Now back to baseball here. Jake Hicksonbaugh over at first base and Logan Hart at the dish. Pick over at first. The throw almost gets away, backhanded by Garcia on the back. Ramos comes set against Hart. The 0-2 is chopped on the right side of the infield. Mata gloves it, flips it over to first on the underhand. A bang play, but Hart is retired at first. Winning run now in scoring position for the Blues with 1 out.
Man, Hart is fast. He did not make that an easy play. It was chopped on the infield, and that could have been a very scary play for the Indians if they were not able to get that out at first.
Here's ZT. Talk about late inning heroics for the Blues. Well, Tallerman, they were down pretty significantly yesterday, but still a home run, a solo home run against the Riptide in the 9th inning. He takes a strike here. Didn't like that call. 0-1 to ZT.
That ball was ripped on the line. A little off the hands, and he was still able to send it out at 100 miles an hour.
The 0-1 with 1 out. The winning run at second. Tallerman takes high, 1 ball and 1 strike. ZT, today's DH for the Blues, batting 4th. Trying to do his job description here and clean it up against the Indians. 1-1. Tallerman takes inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Tallerman finds himself in a hitter's count. See the pitch you want and drive it.
The 2-1. Tallerman waves and misses for strike 2.
And that was the pitch that he wanted. He was just a little under the fastball and was unable to hit it, but he wants that one back for sure.
Bottom of the ninth. The sun is still out, kind of. 2-2. Tollerman takes just off the plate in an out full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Not by much. A risky take in a 2-2 count, but finds himself in a full count. Option for the pitcher Ramos. Does he want to walk him and face Raymond, or Suzuki, excuse me, or does he want to throw him a strike?
Twilight sky could be trouble if a ball is hit in the air. 3-2, it's hit in the air, but it's out of the stadium, and we'll do it again into the full count. Tollerman tough with 2, trying to win the game for the Blues, tied at 6 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. From the stretch, Ramos comes set. The payoff. Tollerman lines it down the left field line, and it gets down for a base hit. Hits him by around third. Zach Tollerman calls game against the Indians. 7-6 win for San Luis Obispo. They send Santa Maria packing.
Zach Tollerman gets it done. A good barrel down the line, and man, oh man, the Blues needed that so badly. And Tollerman, a storied veteran at the college level, gets it done.
The Blues escape the Santa Maria Indians at 8:34 p.m., a 2-hour and 30-minute game. A quick one here at Sinsheimer in front of an incredible crowd. The Blues win against the Santa Maria Indians. Well, it's not the conventional Blues W we're used to seeing against this squad, but nonetheless, it's a W on that scoreboard for the Blues.
Yeah, a scary 6th inning that gave the Indians 6 runs to tie it up, and the Blues offense went dormant after that. 0 in the 6th, 0 in the 7th, 0 in the 8th, but then a leadoff walk from Hickson-Ball, followed by a ground out that moved him over, and then Tollerman ripping a double down the line to win the game.
A walk-off winner for San Luis Obispo, and I think the word escapes is the most appropriate word we can use in this scenario, because they did escape. I mean, this one was really close, maybe too close for comfort for San Luis Obispo. Nonetheless, they got to get ready for 2 really important games against the Foresters.
Yeah, I mean, the Blues really wanted, I think, a blowout win today to get some confidence to go into this game against the Foresters tomorrow and Sunday against the Foresters as well. But, you know, honestly, a pretty rough win, giving up those 6 runs on a couple of errors. 2 base hits in that inning, 2 errors, 2 walks, and then an interference call that gave the Indians another run. But a win is a win, and they have the Indians tomorrow, the Foresters tomorrow here at 4 o'clock p.m. Gates open at 3. And, they're looking to bounce back in the CCL. The Menlo Park Legends are playing tonight, and if they were to win, it's going to be a tie. They're going to be tied with the Legends outside of the playoffs.
Yeah, as it stands right now, entering today's game at least, as Ryan pulls this up, the Blues and the Legends were tied at 2.5 games outside of first place, which the Walnut Creek Crawdads and the Alameda Merchants are both tied for first. And what do you got here?
The Legends beat the Merchants, the first place Merchants, 13-0.
Wow.
A blowout in Menlo. An hour and 56-minute long game where they scored 13 runs.
That math isn't math for me, but either way, Legends and the Blues, that could shake up a little bit after tomorrow's game against the Foresters. So we'll come back tomorrow on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Ryan and I have the play-by-play for you. The next 2 games, Santa Barbara and SLO, a rivalry matchup with a lot on the line. Thanks for watching this 7-6 victory, a team dinner at Chuck E. Cheese for the Blues.
Woohoo!
On the SLO Blues Streaming Network.